Hello and thanks for joining us for our weekly film show. As anti-racism protests sweep the globe, films and TV shows featuring insensitive depictions of race have been pulled from VOD platforms and cinemas. The 1939 classic Gone with the Wind has found itself in the spotlight, with some people calling for it not to be shown anymore. The Grand Rex Cinema in Paris planned to celebrate the reopening of cinemas nationwide by showing the famous film, but Warner Bros. Decided to withdraw it. Is this romance set against the backdrop of the American Civil War too insensitive to the horrors of slavery to be shown today? Olivia Salazar-Winspear has more.
Gone with the wind, or quite literally swept away by a tide of dissent from the HBO platform. The broadcaster says it's a temporary measure to allow them to contextualise the film, which features, quote, racist depictions which were wrong then and are wrong today. It's a welcome move for this film critic.
It's always been problematic, and what I've never really been able to understand is how modern film critics haven't been able to simply look back at that movie and call it out for what it is. No one goes and looks at a film from 1939 just to be entertained that day. They're reaching for something. They're asking for to be informed as well as entertained. And I think that what we owe them is the complete body of information for that piece of cinema.
Set on a Georgia plantation, Gone with the Wind is accused of glorifying the antebellum South, showing a sanitized version of slavery with contented workers and heroic slave owners.
No, you ain't. You can't show your bosom for 3 o'clock.
Now the debate has even crossed the Atlantic. A Paris cinema had planned to show the film for its reopening after the coronavirus lockdown, but the distributor decided to pull the movie, to the disappointment of French Culture Minister Franck Riester.
The cancellation of the screening of the film Gone with the Wind at the Grand Rex is incomprehensible and unacceptable. France will always defend the freedom to create and disseminate works of art. In keeping with the principle of equality, it is at the heart of our values.
Gone with the Wind was originally a Pulitzer Prize-winning novel. It's now been retranslated in French for the first time since the 1930s. Certain words deemed offensive have been changed, but its editor says readers can make their own minds up about the story itself.
But banning art is never progress. Banning a book or a movie or removing it from the open marketplace does not improve life for a single person and is not a victory for anybody or anything. I feel strongly that whether you call it censorship or banning or suppressing, whenever it comes to art, it is always wrong. Because who decides what's offensive or unacceptable? And once you start, well, where do you stop? Context is crucial. Now, if we go down this path, the path of so-called cancel culture, of making sure we never hurt anybody's feelings, well, where does it end? Can we look at the pyramids in Egypt? Because those magnificent structures were definitely built with slave labor. You'd really have to be stunningly naive to believe Gone with the Wind is an accurate portrayal of plantation life or of war or of slavery. It is the story of a spoiled brat, Scarlett O'Hara, who is a white woman used to getting her way, but who ends up trying not to starve to death while toying with the affections of 2 men. It's hard to imagine for us just how popular this film has been for over 80 years.